it afterwards.
Hello.
Hello, George.
Hello, Tim.
I'm interested in the fact that you're also making videos.
That's right. I've got a YouTube channel.
And you've got these amazing videos where you go running around the place talking about what's going on in this particular square. Have you talked about this square here? Where are
Not
we?
as such. Over on the other side, I talked about the North Cyprus Representative Office and the whole Cyprus situation.
Oh, my goodness.
Not about Bedford Square as such, but it does have a few fascinating locations in the square. Perhaps you know.
I do know. Tell me.
Well, for instance, the first university for women in the United Kingdom was founded on this very square. It's called Bedford College.
You know the first university in Russia. Where was that?
Tell me.
That was where I am in MPGU.
Okay.
What's now the Moscow State Pedagogic University.
I had no idea.
So the first university here that predates Girton.
I think it was the 1850s. Bedford
goodness,
College.
that
They didn't actually have the title
really is-
university at the time, but we'll say, all right, tertiary education for women.
Very good. Very
So
good.
it wasn't in the town of Bedford, it was on Bedford Square. And I think it's subsequently subsumed into, what is it? Now at Regent's Park University, or Regent's University, what do you call it? Up in Regent's Park, the London Business School or something like that.
Yep.
Is somehow being absorbed into there.
Or Cass or something.
Cass, one of those ones. Now, obviously, this wasn't the first university for women in the world. The United States had a couple of women's colleges in the 1830s.
Did it?
It did, yeah. Primarily
goodness.
aimed at, what would you call them? Female missionaries.
But you know in Glasgow, I think.
Deaconesses, yeah.
yes. In Glasgow, I think there were Glasgow or Edinburgh. There were women doctors being trained at the time of Arthur Conan Doyle. And although they were trained, they weren't allowed to graduate.
Yeah, it was only sort of the 1860s that woman, Elizabeth Garrett Anderson, the first woman to qualify as a physician in this country.
Yeah.
An American had trailblazed that. Now, if you look back, some German woman, she qualified as a doctor in the 18th century. And even in ancient Egypt, some women were medical doctors. So, yeah.
Very good.
There's obviously the case of James Barry. Perhaps you've heard of him.
Tell me.
Okay, so
This isn't the Peter Pan man.
No. If I get the right name, but we'll say Dr. Barry anyhow. A very distinguished Scottish doctor who moved to South Africa, practiced there for many years, and then died, having left instructions, when I die, do not change my clothes, just don't bury me in the clothes I'm wearing. But the servants disobeyed the instructions and discovered that this Dr. Barry was a woman. But there also is a giveaway, telltale signs beforehand, but I shan't go into that perhaps.
So this is the Saint, this is the Pope Joan of
As
the
it
medical
were, yes,
world.
yes, they discovered too late. But Pope Joan may well be a myth.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. But have you seen the film with Liv Ullmann?
No?
No, it's superb. It's superb.
I must get viewing.
Yeah, you really must. Liv Ullmann. My favourite Liv Ullmann film is Lost Horizon. Do you know that?
I must confess my ignorance.
It was a musical written for Julie Andrews, and when Julie Andrews decided not to play yet another teacher or another person dealing with children, the musical was then given to Liv Ullmann. And some Hollywood wag said, "Oh, I do love a Liv Ullmann musical," and she can't sing a note, poor dear.
Okay. Was someone else was doing the vocals?
No. She tried it gamely.
Manfully, or should I say womanfully? But, yeah.
But she did have a rather nice song. The world is. Oh my goodness, cars going jetting
The police
past.
have obviously heard I'm around.
Yeah. The world is a circle without a beginning, which is appropriate for my little thing.
Was she cacophonic?
No, she was quite muted, I think. So she was. It was quite a small little voice.
See, it makes me think about Julie Andrews. Was she too pigeonholed as this sort of perhaps a milquetoast character, maybe schmaltzy, a bit mumsy, even when she was in her 20s?
Maybe.
Because
maybe.
You know, her as Mary Poppins, she's very wholesome and clean living, but like having no sex appeal. But maybe
Do you think not?
I think not. But maybe it was aimed at children. She had to be very buttoned up. Plus, it was set in the Edwardian era.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I find Mary Poppins an extraordinarily liberating film, and the Sound of Music. A lady who decides that she's going to abandon the convent for marriage.
But there is that. But it's as though she's pure and beautiful in a way that's almost above desire. Like as though.
And Hawaii. I mean, she gives birth in Hawaii.
Oh, I haven't seen that picture.
She's done her best to do design.
She's given birth in real life.
Victoria.
The other thing is, by the way, because did you know she was conceived as a part of an extramarital affair? Yeah.
Julie Andrews. Yes, I
Yes,
did.
yes,
know.
yeah.
You've read her biography?
I haven't, no, but I read that somewhere
It's
else.
superb.
Uh-huh.
Two volumes so far, and they are excellent. Really, really well written.
Would it be apt to ask you about your media appearances?
Oh my goodness! Well, it would
Are
be
you
apt,
allowed
but-
to?
yeah, absolutely.
Well, how about you in television as a telly star?
Well, I'm not a telestar. I'm barely a sort of what is it? Layer
Celebrity?
C-list celebrity.
So which show were you on recently?
Well, I was on a thing called The Circle.
Oh yes.
Hence my Liv Ullmann reference.
And did you have to live in?
I did,
Yeah.
and it was extraordinary.
With
I
how
felt-
many people?
I was simply aware of living with myself, but self and cat. But there were at least 8 other people in the circle at any one time.
Now they say drama is conflict. Did they deliberately pick housemates to get under your skin?
Probably, but I didn't. I never met anybody. I only interfaced with them on this strange sort of social media thing.
Well, I'm world
so-
famous in Romania.
You are because you've done reality TV as well.
have,
oh, come
I
on!
have.
What was your reality
Scheme
TV?
de
called?
mame, as in mum swap, not wife swap, mum
Oh
swap.
my goodness!
Yeah, yeah.
So you had another mother,
Yes.
and what was she like?
Florina was her name. Quite irksome. She wasn't terrible. She was all right at first, actually. But
And you dealt with her in Romanian.
yes, entirely.
And this is so good.
Because I speak Romanian. I spoke it rather better
Yeah.
several years ago. But I thought they would get me someone from the other part of the country, because I was living in Bucharest and she's from the sticks
Yes.
and doesn't speak a phoneme of English, which is good. And then she's brought it to the flat before I'm there,
Yeah.
looking at all the books, all but one of
Oh,
them are in
no,
English, and she gets
no.
worried. And they told me when I showed up to only speak to her in English for a minute, and she became deeply perturbed. How on earth was she going to cope for a week without a common language? Before then, I burst into fluent Romanian.
Right.
Although actually we both speak Italian, so we could have communicated.
Did you? What was the purpose of the exercise? How did you win, or did you win?
No, it's not winning or losing, because you just have to live with a week. Actually, it's 5 days. They say
Yeah.
a week. You get paid a few €100 for it, which was a kind of serious dosh in Romania, especially for me in those days.
Oh, wonderful!
And that was that. So, but the thing is, they were feeding her lines.
oh no!
So, yeah.
So
And-
it wasn't an honest program. Mine was completely
so
honest.
It was they want you to get irritated because they want you
I
to lose
see.
your cool and stuff
And
like that.
did you?
Slightly once, yeah.
Oh,
But the thing
George,
the
what
thing
did
is-
you do?
Well, I said you're just trying to make me look incompetent and tell the camera to get out of the door. So the thing is because they
Did you have camera people following you
of
around?
course, yeah. They
Oh,
filmed,
because in the circle we just had these sort of these sort of
built into the
remote
place,
thingies,
CCTV,
yeah,
yeah.
that sort of word
which
occasionally.
interact, so
Yeah.
you can make it more or less natural. The thing is, they have filmed 45 hours of footage, of which they broadcast about an hour and a half.
They only broadcast the nasty bits. I'm
So
sure.
exactly, so
So
they-
you're get out of
selected-
my room.
I was the villain of the piece, yeah. And were you the anti-hero as well, or not?
So no. I think I went down quite well. I think I portrayed very sympathetically.
The Circle.
I was terribly lucky.
Can I step into the circle?
Please step into the circle.
Would I
think
want to?
I think you would feel so comfortable. I felt the circle was like a sort of paradise.
Uh-huh.
And there was one person who stepped into the circle who was nasty, and was nasty to me. And he was he was a television star he was Richard from Richard and Judy,
Yes.
and he was pretending to be
Not Richard
a
Madeley.
girl. Yes, absolutely.
What, dressed up as a woman?
No, he wasn't dressed up as a woman. I don't think there was any. I don't think there was any dressing going on. But yeah, he was. The photograph he presented was of a young girl,
Okay.
and at some point he was pretending to be this person. I thought, God, I don't want this person
Whether you
to
met him in the
exist.
flesh or
No,
not?
I didn't, sadly.
Okay.
But he attacked me. He attacked my cat. He was quite vicious about my cat. Really.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I was terribly upset.
You're a felinophile.
I have two.
Okay. Goodness.
Do you disapprove?
No, not really. I'm a doggist.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
a doggist because I think, I was asked on the circle, what do you prefer, dogs or cats? What are more useful, dogs or cats? And I think people assumed I was going to say cats, but dogs help blind
Well,
people.
listen,
Dogs
well, that's true.
dogs search for drugs. Dogs help police.
But they
I
never
can't
give me the drugs,
I
though.
can't
Yeah.
imagine a cat doing anything useful.
Well, precisely,
really.
it's like Churchill saying that a cat looks down and your dog looks up to you. A dog will die for you. A dog would attack
my cats
a
might.
man 10 times its size to save you. And
My
cats are all
cats
take,
might.
take.
My cats
Oh.
might. My
Well,
cats are very protective.
I must confess to being a bit of a felinophobe.
I'm so sorry.
so, but dogs, I prefer-
You need to come and meet my
One of my
my
favourite debating
animals.
motions is this house would rather save a good animal than an evil human. But
Yes, well,
my
that
guess
might. Well, I can think of a few evil humans I would prefer to jettison. Really.
well, and dogs, as they say, loyal as a dog for a good reason. So yeah, they're faithful beasts.
yes,
I'm very
yes.
fond of them. Intelligent, no.
Well, I think
Adorable.
I think cats are lovely. Anyway, but Richard was Richard was the sort of the negative bit. But he was instructed to be negative.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about when the show I was on. As in the production, people said, well, come on, let's have some verbal pyrotechnics here.
Yeah.
Fisticuffs, and
Yeah.
therefore egging people on to irritate
Yeah, well,
each other. Try and get them to lose
Richard's
it.
job was to get thrown out of the circle by me.
Did it work?
Yes, I was
Okay.
only too happy to jettison him.
Because obviously, ideally, they want shrieking, crying, swearing of
Well, they had
oaths, all the
crying,
rest
but,
of it, yeah.
but they had crying, but very sweetly. I don't think they broadcast very
There's
much of my
slamming
crying.
of doors
No,
and
there was no
hurling
slamming
of
of doors.
furniture,
No,
okay.
no. We were all very very well behaved.
Or indeed a horizontal encounter. I can't say what's more dramatic and eye-catching than that, you know.
Well, there
Otherwise
was
it's
a
banal.
Romeo of the circle
And
who was lovely.
okay,
And unfortunately, he.
Romeo towards you. Or
No,
someone
not
else?
towards me.
Okay.
Heavens, no. I'm far beyond all that sort of stuff. There was this very nice fellow, and he got thrown out, and then reappeared,
Yes.
bonded with with another girl, and he reappeared, pretending to be a sort of older lady called. What was her name?
Crikey.
Joyce.
How intriguing. And
Joyce. And I thought. Well, I knew Joyce wasn't real.
Which channel was this on?
Channel 4.
Ah, okay. Well, I must allow my name to go forward.
You really must. I think I would promote you as an and you have experience of this sort of thing.
Well,
you
of
have experience
course,
of reality
do it in a
TV
different language,
in
yeah.
other languages. I think it would be wonderful to be.
Yeah, like I did stand up in Russian once, but it was a
Did you?
gong show. Only lasted a
Oh
minute.
my
yeah.
goodness! What Trashka dilia chai, stakan dilia vodka. Is that okay? Is that reasonable? Or
Well, it is. Yes, I understand. But I mean, that's an
Is it-
applause line, is it?
No, I was just saying.
I don't drink. I
you
don't
can
like
do your
vodka,
own
actually.
thing.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, that's what the expression means.
Isn't
I
that what
didn't
the
know that.
expression means?
I think so.
Is
But
it,
I think
isn't
you're
the equivalent of chacun son goût?
you may be better at Russian idiom than I am, but that's not saying much. Anyway,
I think your Russian is
and
probably
I
far
think-
superior. And so we both have dealings with Russia.
well,
Because I think
I spent a couple of years there.
I
yeah.
think on one occasion you were making a film. You were making a YouTube video about exactly the area of,
that you were in, but we didn't
of
manage to meet
Moscow
when I
where
was in Moscow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, I wonder we should wrap up
we-
soon.
we-
Anything
we
else like
should
to say?
wrap.
We could go on all day.
We could go on all day,
But we both-
but you need to. We need people to have a look at your YouTube.
Thank you so much, and I would like
so
my
what-
viewers to
How,
watch
how,
yours.
how do we find your YouTube?
George from Ireland on YouTube.
George from
Search
Ireland.
George from Ireland. Far more memorable than my surname.
And my look at this man with an amazing scarf there.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Well, I'm not very good at Twitter.
And mine is Zontool Films Limited. Zontool is a
Zontool. I see.
Zontool, yeah, Zontool, Z-O-N-T-U-L.
So I teach people online or in person if you're in London. I'm a tour guide as well. I'm a translator from various languages.
There we are.
French,
There we
Spanish,
are.
Italian, German, Romanian, Russian.
Ah, superb. And of course your Romanian is.
Well, it's a bit
is-
rusty
is,
now. I left the country 8 years ago.
Impeccable.
Well, I wouldn't go that so far, no. Okay,
Thank you, George.
it was been a pleasure. Tim, toodaloo.
It's been a toodaloo indeed.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.